Coming in from Delhi's Rouse Avenue Court, we are now learning that former BJP MP and ex-Wrestling Federation of India chief Brij Bhushan Sharan Singh and his co-accused Vinod Tomar have both been acquitted in the alleged sexual harassment case filed by women wrestlers. The case is linked to an FIR registered by Delhi police following a protest by women wrestlers at Jantar Mantar. The allegations of sexual harassment during Singh's tenure as the WFI chief were raised. Earlier, remember, Delhi police had filed a 1,500-page charge sheet on the 15th of June 2023 after completing its investigation into the allegations. We're learning that the court acquitted Brij Bhushan Sharan Singh and Vinod Tomar in the case. Additional Chief Judicial Magistrate Ashwani Pawar of the Rouse Avenue Court also pronounced the acquittal. This verdict had been reserved following lengthy hearings involving the prosecution, complainants and the accused, and the proceedings were in fact held in camera. I have Sambhav Sharma joining me live on the broadcast. Sambhav, what more details are you getting from the court since you're right outside the Rouse Avenue Court right now?
Well, the oral part of the judgment is out, and Additional Chief Judicial Magistrate Ashwini Panwar has acquitted both Brij Bhushan Sharan Singh and one other in this particular case, in the sexual harassment case of the women wrestlers. Remember, this was a complaint filed by women wrestlers wherein they alleged that between 2016 to 2019 they were sexually harassed. And if I talk about the charges under which the charge sheet was earlier filed, it was under different sections of Indian Penal Code. And if I may read those charges here, under which now Brij Bhushan Sharan Singh has been finally acquitted by the Delhi's Rouse Avenue Court, and there are different charges of sexual harassment, which includes outraging the modesty of a woman under certain sections of 354 of Indian Penal Code, and many other charges were there. And
जज साहब ने कि भूषण सिंह जी और विनोद तोमर, आप दोनों लोगों को बाइज्जत बरी किया जाता है। बाइज्जत शब्द, मेरी प्रतिक्रिया ये है, फर्स्ट डे जब मेरा पहला वक्तव्य आया था तो हमने कहा था कि यदि कोई भी फैसला या कोई आरोप अगर साबित हो जाएगा तो मैं स्वतः फांसी पर लटक जाऊंगा। आज कोर्ट ने बाइज्जत बरी किया, मेरे लिए प्रसन्नता का विषय है, मेरे समर्थकों के लिए प्रसन्नता का विषय है। और हमारे वकील साहब, बहुत बहुत आपको धन्यवाद। कहाँ गए भाटी जी, वो कहाँ का बिल्ला और फिर इससे ज़्यादा आज कुछ नहीं कर सकते हैं। अब बाकी अब कोर्ट का जो कापी मिलेगी, अब क्या जजमेंट आया क्या नहीं आया।
So that was the former WFI chief Brij Bhushan Sharan Singh, who was talking right after he was acquitted by the Rouse Avenue Court in Delhi. Sambhav also has latest developments from the court itself, but Sambhav, we'll wait while we go to you. We also have Ashwini Dubey, senior advocate, joining us from the Supreme Court. Mr. Dubey, this is a very big judgment that has been given by the Rouse Avenue Court, and I'd like to ask you, what is there any chances that Brij Bhushan Sharan Singh, in fact, could also the defendants in the case could move the Supreme Court next, or is the case done once and for all?
No, it's the right to appeal is available to the prosecution, and right to appeal is also available to the prosecutrix or the complainants who had filed this complaint. So they can always challenge this order passed by learned Additional Chief Judicial Magistrate Mr. Ashwini Pawar. Question herein is that the complaint which was filed that has been found to be fake. Nothing could be proved, and it is a honorable acquittal. The case was the sexual harassment allegations raised by 6 women wrestlers against Mr. Bhushan Sharan Singh And based on their complaint, the police had registered the FIR against the former MP. In July, if you remember, on June 15, 2023, police filed charge sheet for the offence under section 354, outraging modesty, 354A, sexually colored remarks, 354D, stalking, and 5061 of criminal intimidation of IPC. Then on 10th May, the charges were framed and the matter went for trial. So there was no sufficient material on record as of now for the court to reach for any conclusion. So it means that the complaint was fake. Now, Mr. Brij Bhushan Sharan Singh can also seek defamation, damages and defamation case can file against the women wrestlers. So both the parties have remedy. And the remedy is if Brij Bhushan Sharan Singh opts, then he has to go to the civil court. And if the women wrestlers or the prosecution wants to challenge their judgment, the remedy is before the learned district judge, since the order has been passed by learned additional chief judicial magistrate. But the question is this matter has hyped so much, and he has to leave his post. The way women wrestlers and their supporters has blocked the Jantar Mantar, taken it to the public. They had also thrown their medals which they had received. It was a big hue and cry. Now the court has reached to the conclusion that nothing could be found. So this kind of vendetta, I think that should be stopped. If court has reached to some conclusion and the complaint which is found to be vague, it means that it was politically motivated. Otherwise, court would have passed any judgment against Mr. Singh. But there was no evidence. Hence, court acquitted him. Over to you.
All right, Mr. Dubey, very pertinent points you have made right there. We have, in fact, live visuals coming in from Delhi where Brij Bhushan Sharan Singh's supporters are celebrating, showering him with flowers as well. These live shots are on your screens right now. You also heard his statement, his official statement right after the Rouse Avenue Court delivered its verdict, acquitting not just Brij Bhushan but also his co-accused Tomar in the case. So yes, this is a big judgment that has come right there from the Delhi court. You have those visuals on your screens as well. Throngs of supporters have now surrounded Brij Bhushan Sharan Singh in Delhi itself right after the verdict was delivered, almost as if they expected this verdict. They were looking forward to it. And, you know, right as he was speaking, you also heard Brij Bhushan Sharan Singh say that, justice prevails. So this is a major statement that has also come out. Remember, however, he was, this case was a long drawn one. He was facing a trial in connection with allegations.
18 जनवरी 2023 को आप लोग यहाँ पर मौजूद थे और तब मैंने कहा था कि ये एक साजिश है, षड्यंत्र है और अगर मेरे ऊपर कोई आरोप सही पाया जाएगा तो मैं स्वतः फांसी पर लटक जाऊंगा। और आज तक मैं उसी बात पर कायम रहा और आज लगभग 3 साल के बाद कोर्ट ने मुझे और विनोद जी को बाइज्जत बरी किया है।
सर, एक लंबा संघर्ष आप लोगों ने झेला, जिस तरीके से आपके ऊपर लगातार आरोप लगाए जा रहे थे, जंतर मंतर में प्रदर्शन भी हो रहे थे, ऐसे सर वो कितना वक्त, किस तरह का वक्त?
मैं 15-16 साल से की उम्र से ही संघर्ष देख रहा हूं और मैं हमेशा जो कमजोर थे, जिनका हक मारा जाता था, मैं उनके पक्ष में खड़ा होता था और मुझे अपने आप के ऊपर विश्वास था। मैं सामने वाले को नहीं जानता हूं कि सामने वाले के दिल में क्या है, लेकिन मैं अपने आप को जानता था और मुझे पूरा विश्वास था कि मेरे साथ न्याय होगा और मेरे साथ न्याय हुआ और कभी मैंने अपने आप को अपराधी महसूस ही नहीं किया। और मैंने एक शेर उस दिन पढ़ा था कि इसीलिए तो डगर डगर बदनाम हो गए मेरे आंसू, मैं उनका हो गया कि जिनका कोई पहरेदार नहीं था। बदलो भी आलोचक कैसे करते दर्द पुरस्कृत मेरा, मैंने जो कुछ गाया उसमें करुणा था, श्रृंगार नहीं था। हम जो जूनियर खिलाड़ी थे, जिनका हक मारा जा रहा था, हम उनके लिए लड़ाई लड़ रहे थे। और मुझे प्रसन्नता है कि उस लड़ाई में हमारी ही जीत हुई। और मुझे विश्वास है कि जिस लड़ाई को लड़ करके हम निकले हैं, यानी जूनियर खिलाड़ी की लड़ाई को लड़ करके निकले हैं, उनको न्याय मिलाए। अब वो आने वाले समय में हमारे रेसलिंग का परचम पूरी दुनिया में लहराएंगे, मुझे पूरा विश्वास है।
रेसलर्स ने आपके ऊपर आरोप लगाया, खासकर विनोद फोगाट, साक्षी मलिक जैसे।
देखिए, नाम लेने की आवश्यकता नहीं है, नाम लेने की आवश्यकता नहीं है। पहलवानों के साथ साथ ये आज जो बड़ी बड़ी पार्टियां आप देख रहे हैं, याद करिए जंतर मंतर पर कौन नहीं बैठा था? प्रियंका जी चली आई। आम आदमी पार्टी तो पूरा खाने पाने की व्यवस्था कर रही थी। लेफ्ट राइट जो आप देखते हैं ना, यहां कोई बचा था? मेरी फांसी की मांग हो रही थी, जिंदा जला देने की मांग हो रही थी। अब वो लोग अपने गिरबान में देखें, समय आने पर जवाब दिया जाए।
सर, आपका विरोध करते हुए एक महिला विधायक भी बन गई। हाँ,
अब वो चलिए, बस हो गया।
हाँ, अभी विजुअल कर बैठने दो 2 मिनट को।
All right, so now what we can see, the statement has been made by Brij Bhushan after he has been acquitted in this harassment case. Not only him, even Vinod Tomar has been acquitted in this case, and now we are getting to know that even he's hitting back, not just on Aam Aadmi Party, he's also hitting back at Congress with Priyanka Gandhi Vadra also. So joining me on the telecast is my colleague Sambhav Sharma. Sambhav, what exactly does this acquittal signify? The fact that these cases of allegations have been going on for quite some time. What exactly was the defense that was made, and is there any future ruling that could take place regarding this as well?
What the Chief Judicial Magistrate Ashwini Panwar, what he said, he is one acquitted, and not just acquitted Brij Bhushan Sharan Singh, but also another accused, Vinod Tomar. He was also accused, he's been accused. And if we talk about the detailed background of this case, as you rightly pointed out, a long trial, and as Brij Bhushan Sharan Singh was also saying the same thing. I mean, senior advocate Rebecca John appeared for women wrestlers, and charges were framed in May 2024, and if we talk about the charges in detail, what are the charges under the charge sheet filed by the Delhi police? Delhi police had filed this charge sheet under certain sections like 354, which is assault or criminal force to woman with intention to outrage her modesty. That was one charge. Another charge was 354A, which is sexual harassment. Another very important charge was 354D, stalking. 506 clause 1, that is criminal intimidation. These are Indian Penal Code charges framed by the Delhi police, at the charge sheet filed by the Delhi police, rather. And now the Delhi's Rouse Avenue Court, around after two and a half years, has finally acquitted Brij Bhushan Sharan Singh and another one accused in this sexual harassment case. And this is here important. I mean, a long trial and such over 100 hearings in this particular case, and it took around, if we count the hearings, it's around 120 hearings in this case, and not just in 2023, 2024, 25 and 26 as well. And later on, the court reserved its judgment in July 2026, and finally today the court has delivered the judgment. And remember, as Brij Bhushan Sharan Singh was pointing out, I mean, this all started with a protest at Jantar Mantar, where allegations of sexual harassment, serious charges were, Brij Bhushan Sharan Singh faced serious charges, and now this acquitted.
see, things will be more clear once we get the order copy of the Rouse Avenue Court final copy. Once we have that, it will be more clear as to what went into judge's mind, why this happened, and everything will be crystal clear. But as of now, what is most important here is, I'm reporting from outside, in fact, Rouse Avenue Court, and now things seem normal here, but quite a while back, when the judge was pronouncing judgment, many of the supporters of Brij Bhushan Sharan Singh were also present in the court premises. He was personally present in the court, and now finally, this judgment where the Delhi Rouse Avenue Court has acquitted former BJP MP Brij Bhushan Sharan Singh in the sexual harassment case filed by many women wrestlers. And here, Additional Chief Judicial Magistrate Ashwini Panwar of the Rouse Avenue Court earlier reserved the judgment after concluding the final arguments, where there were two basically accused. One, Brij Bhushan Sharan Singh and Vinod Tomar, both are now acquitted.
All right, Sambhav, stay on with me. I also have with me Adish Agarwal, Senior Advocate, Supreme Court, joining me on the telecast. Adish Agarwal, thank you so much for joining me on the telecast. From your perspective, what exactly was is your assessment now that this case has ended and Brij Bhushan has gotten a clean sheet from the court and has been acquitted? So, what exactly is your perspective on this?
This is when there was no adequate evidence available on record. That's why the Honorable Court has acquitted him, discharged him from the charges leveled by the prosecution. And now, if anybody is aggrieved of, they can file the appeal in the High Court.
And Adish Agarwal, what kind of precedent this case sets after Brij Bhushan has been acquitted?
No, because when these allegations of sexual harassment were leveled, so the court has not found sufficient evidence to convict him.
And when we talk about cases like this, you have said that there was no adequate evidence that was available. So when we talk about the fact that 1500 or so charge sheet was also submitted by Delhi police at that time, even then were there inadequate evidence that was available, and what exactly then qualifies when cases like these take place?
See, actually in such type of cases, when there is so much pressure from different quarters to file the challan, etc., FIR in urgent emergency, then such situation develops. The police investigating officer is not in a position to collect the adequate evidence against the accused, because when things are done in a hurry, and there is so much pressure that why challan is not filed, why FIR is not registered in a hurry, then things result in such result.
And not only the fact that Brij Bhushan has been acquitted, but also is accused number 2, Vinod Tomar, has also been acquitted as well. So in terms of that, all the other charges and offences have also been dropped. Do you think that this is the final end of this case, or could there be further rulings that could take place, or could it be applied again?
Go up to Supreme Court. Such type of matters it will go to High Court, and after High Court also it will go to Supreme Court, certainly, because when there is a question of respect of not respect, because everybody want to prove that I was just, I was correct, and I will teach a lesson. So like that, these players will certainly go, and when they have a backing of certain people. Because Mr. Brij Bhushan Singh is a politician, so he will have the enemies. Enemies will support the complainants.
All right, Adish Agarwal, thank you so much for joining me on the telecast and sharing your input on that. But meanwhile, I also have with me another guest, Brinda Adige, women rights activist, joining me on the telecast. Brinda, thank you so much for joining me on the telecast. What exactly is your first reaction when you came to know that Brij Bhushan has now been acquitted? He has been given a clean sheet, and not just him, even the accused number 2 has been Vinod Tomar, has also been acquitted as well. What was your initial reaction, considering the fact that this case has a lot of allegations that we have seen of sexual harassment that has been going on for quite some time? What kind of precedent does this case set?
Angry, I'm outraged, I'm absolutely disappointed with the courts. We all know that it is not 1 or 2 complaints that have come against these people on sexual harassment and sexual assault and on minors. So we are looking at 3 different counts. So on what basis the court has given a clean sheet is something that I have not been able to read yet. But whatever might be the basis, I'm sure you cannot negate the complaints of the minors and the women who have spoken about this man. He's a very powerful person and he brings in the votes for BJP. So let's not forget that. And a precedent of this nature is absolutely unacceptable, because now every other case, and you and I know that women and girls are subjected to sexual harassment and assault at various levels in various institutions. It is not just a school, college or a sports place. Anywhere they are subjected to it. Already it is very difficult for them to come out and make a complaint. The fact that a complaint has been made and a court has completely disregarded the situation that the girls came forward and made the complaint also goes to show that the courts are compromised. I want you to place that on record. The courts are compromised when they have given a ruling or a judgment or a verdict where they have given a clean sheet to somebody like Brij Bhushan Singh and the other accomplice who have been with him. Absolutely unacceptable. Again, there's a lot of tedious, cumbersome work to go to the High Court and then to the Supreme Court. But you and I must now understand courts are not neutral like they claim. Courts are not the last place for us to bring perpetrators to justice. It has become that if you are influential, if you are powerful, you can get away, which means the rest of India has to suffer.
All right, Brinda Adige, stay on with me. Now let's take a look at the